right, guys, we are live. It is Thursday, the 2nd of May. I've got a great show for you. We're going to be having a look at some stuff that's going on right now. We have the president who just came out. We're going to catch him. I've got it paused right now. Yeah, so it's going to be, we're just going to jump right into that. What's going on, y'all? It's me, SpaysE McG, your favorite cartoon nerd with the news. I'm back at it again early this morning, doing my thing. You know what we do up here. We've got a lot of crazy shit going on around the country. But first, we're just going to go directly to the president and try to make sense out of whatever's coming out of his mouth. I know it's not going to be easy, but we're going to try. Let's just go ahead and jump right into that. And boom, there we go. That's wrong. Okay, hold on. There we go. All right. Let's see here. Get that a little bit bigger like that. Maybe pop that over just a slightly bit. There we go. All right. Yeah, what's going on, you guys? Who we got out there? We got Aladdin, Sostra. Huh. The greatest trick the devil ever pulled. All right, guys. We're going to go ahead and just let this idiot talk, I guess, for a little bit.
North Carolina, I wanted to speak for a few moments about what's going on our college campuses here. We've all seen the images, and they put to the test two fundamental American principles. Excuse me. The first is the right to free speech and for people to peacefully assemble and make their voices heard. The second...
Yeah, those people are allowed to assemble and make their voices heard as long as they vote for Democrats. Remember, if you go out and you protest things you don't like, you will be called an insurrectionist. You will be thrown in jail for up to 20 years, right? For leading a violent insurrection. But when these people literally are causing violence and screaming at the top of their lungs that they want a fucking intifada, right? Nothing. No, we need to support their right to dismantle our traditions and our values. But when you take to the streets saying that you want a fair election, well, that's an insurrection, ladies and gentlemen.
Is the rule of law. Both must be upheld.
Hey, what's going on? We are
not
Cotton.
An authoritarian nation where we
What's
silence
up,
people or squash dissent. The American people are heard. In fact, peaceful protest is in the best tradition of how Americans respond to consequential issues. But, neither are we a lawless country. We are a civil society, and order must prevail. Throughout our history, we've often faced moments like this because we are a big, diverse, free-thinking, and freedom-loving nation. In moments like this, there are always those who rush in to score political points. But this isn't a moment for politics. It's a moment for clarity. So let me be clear.
Oh, God.
Peaceful protest in America. Violent protest is not protected. Peaceful protest is.
Unless that violent protest, right, is directed at Donald Trump, burning down churches in Washington, D.C., storming the Whitehouse gate, burning down black people's neighborhoods in fucking Minneapolis, Chicago, Kenosha, right? Then it's cool, right? But the minute you go after, the fucking Israel fucking political action people, right? The minute you mess with Democrat funding, right? That's when we're gonna fucking draw the line.
It's against the law when violence occurs. Destroying property is not a peaceful protest. It's against the law. Vandalism, trespassing, breaking windows, shutting down campuses, forcing the cancellation of classes and graduations. None of this is a peaceful protest. Threatening people, intimidating people, instilling fear in people is not peaceful protest. It's against the law. Dissent is essential to democracy, but dissent must never lead to disorder or to denying the rights of others.
It's funny, huh? The minute, you know, I'm out here. I'm out here shilling for Israel, as some of you might say. You know, but I'm gonna say this. It's funny how the minute it's Israel, right, now it's bad, right? When we was protesting police, when we were protesting Christopher Columbus, when they were toppling statues, when they tried to take down Abraham Lincoln, that's fine. That's fine. But the minute they start talking bad about Israel, now the Democrats are on our side, right? It's a little too on the nose, if you ask me. Okay, let's go.
Others so students can finish the semester and their college education. Look, it's basically a matter of fairness. It's a matter of what's right. There's the right to protest, but not the right to cause chaos. People have the right to get an education, the right to get a degree, the right to walk across the campus safely without fear of being attacked. But let's be clear about this as well. There should be no place on any campus, no place in America for anti-Semitism or threats of violence against Jewish students. There is no place for hate speech or violence of any kind, whether it's anti-Semitism, Islamophobia, or discrimination against Arab Americans or Palestinians.
But it's perfectly okay for you to bring violence against those evil, fascist, MAGA Republicans, that want to wave their American flags and protect your right to call them chuds. Let's go.
Indian Americans. It's simply wrong. There's no place for racism in America. It's all wrong. It's un-American. I understand people have strong feelings and deep convictions. In America, we respect the right and protect the right for them to express that. But it doesn't mean anything goes. It needs to be done without violence, without destruction, without hate, and within the law. Make no mistake. As president, I will always defend.
Yeah, make no mistake that the minute he's done talking, he will not answer a single question. Let's go.
Free speech. And I will always be just as strong in standing up for the rule of law. That's my responsibility to you, the American people, and my obligation to the Constitution. Thank you very much.
Mr. President,
That's it?
has the protest forced you to reconsider any of
Is he
the
taking questions? Holy
policies with
shit.
regard to the region?
No. Thank you.
Mr. President,
One
do you think
question.
the National Guard should
One
intervene?
question.
No.
The back of his head. Run away, you coward. Run away, you fucking piece of shit. Yeah, go ahead. Run, because you can't take a question, you fucking loser. You fucking disgrace to this country. The disgrace to the office of the presidency. Look at him. And I think it's fitting. That the back of his head is so disgusting. Because that's all we ever get to see, and it really shows his shame. Right? So, since the back of his head is all we ever get to see when people ask him questions, I think it's fitting that it looks so disgusting and covered in liver spots, and it's gross, and you can see how bad his hair plugs are. He's a great debater. Yeah, right. Okay, guys. So that was the president. He didn't really say anything, didn't answer any questions. Thought he was going to take questions for a second. But he's done. So what's going on, you guys? It's been a pretty wild last couple of days. To be honest, I haven't been feeling very good. You might be able to hear my head's all congested. Every time the weather changes, we went from cold to hot, back to cold, back to hot. And so it always messes with my sinuses. And so, it makes me feel ill. But I'm not 100%, but I am coming back. Yeah, so that was the president. Now we have some other stuff to kind of look at here. Yeah, so at UCLA, things have gotten kind of spicy over the last few days. And we're just going to kind of go through this event by event and kind of just show how this broke down, okay? Take it to the air. What do you mean, Aladdin? Okay, let's see here. So, yeah, so we all know that at UCLA, things have gotten spicy over the last few days. And so this is how it all started. You might probably already know this, but I think for context, we should start here. So here's how everything started, okay? So what we're about to watch is a video of a student being barred from entering his classes because he's a Jew, right? All right, here we go. Or not. Maybe we're going to go?
Can I please go to class?
We're
going this way.
We gotta go.
Hold on. Let me get the volume better. All right, here we go. So this young man is, from what I've been able to tell, is a theater student. Can't all be engineers, I guess. And he's trying to get to his class. Now, it may just be a stupid acting class, but he pays like $100,000 a year to go to that acting class. He has a right to go. Let's go.
You guys have closed the entrance. We are UCLA students. I have my ID right here. I'm being blocked off, not by the security guard, but by you two. You three. Oh, look, they're making their burger while I'm going this way. Excuse me. This is what they do. Everybody, look at this. Look at this. I'm a UCLA student.
You can see
I
he's
deserve
probably
to go
wearing
here.
his
We pay
Star of
tuition.
David.
This is our school, and they're not letting me walk in. My class is
We've
over. there. I
got,
wanna use that
We've got pro-Hamas intifadas and their Haji hats, right?
entrance. Why can't they go? Will you let me go in? This could be over in a second. Just let me and my friends go in to class.
We're not engaging in that.
Then you can move. Will you move?
We're not engaging in that.
So here's all the girl Hajis
Going.
trying to
Going
block
in.
him from going in.
I have my hands up. I'm not hurting them. I'm not hurting them. That's what they do. That's what they do, everybody.
That's what they do.
You guys are
Yes,
promoting
this is how it
aggression.
starts.
You guys are promoting hate. We're UCLA students. We deserve to be there. Let's go.
So that's what happened. So they block the young Jewish man from going to his acting class or whatever. And, yeah. And that night, just about 12 hours later, or the next day or whatever, a bunch of Jews show up at UCLA to knock some fucking skulls in. All right, here we go.
Don't even know what's going on. And talking shit. You ain't gonna do nothing, boy. Let's go now.
Do something. Back up. Do something. Do something. There's a weapon in your hand.
And fucking chaos ensues. They're tearing down the wall. You know, I have to say this. For people that are against occupation, they sure do like to occupy shit. Right? Right? For people who are out there like, end the occupation, their only solution is occupying. Very telling. Very telling. It's like these Palestinians, right? The minute you let them in, they take over and they say, this is our land now. This is our land. Right? So, I mean, you can see what right? The minute we let them onto campus, they set up tents and they say, "This is our land now. Quit colonizing us." We've been here forever. Occupiers. Look at this big bald guy. He's a tank. The big bald guy is a tank. You don't give a fuck. That's a very large Jew.
This is Jim Crow segregation! This is Jim Crow segregation! Shame on UCLA! This is like Jim Crow era segregation! Shame on UCLA! Shame on them! They're not letting students in based on their ethnicity or political stance! Shame on UCLA! This is Jim Crow segregation! Shame on you! You're gonna block Jewish people? You're gonna fuck you up! You hear me?
Yeah, tank there ain't having. They fucked with the wrong people this time. Right? You don't go threatening members of the tribe. They came ready to fuck shit up. They got a rave going on in the background. Now, it's funny. The Palestinian jihadis, right? They had a sign. Let's just kind of back it up a little bit. It says, if you can read it, it says right side of history, right? I have a feeling that they're on the wrong side of history, right? Because what these people are supporting is terrorism, is jihad, is intifada, right? Like they are out here demanding a revolution, a worldwide Muslim caliphate, right? They want to be under Sharia law, right? Now, I don't think that they understand what the word intifada means, but we do. We've looked up the definition before. Let's see here. So let me get this straight. The reason that they are at each other's throats over there, they are literally creating over here. Is that correct? Yes. Yes. Right? It's exactly like Israel, right? Sure. These people come in, they take over the land, they say that it's theirs now, right? And when you try to come in and clear them out, they're calling us occupiers, right? Yes, it's very similar, Mountain Aviator. Yes. Yes, so basically we've got little Israel here at UCLA. What does Johnny Chopper got to say? I don't have him out right now.
That's right, motherfucker!
Now, so far, this has remained contained inside these university camps. And so long as it remains on the campus, I don't think that anything much will come out of this. But it's when these idiots take to the streets, right, that this thing might turn over, boil over. Everyone just needs to smoke some weed. I agree, JP. Instead, the kids today are all hopped up on Adderall. That's why we get this kind of bullshit. When we were teenagers, we were all smoking weed. And so we didn't do this bullshit. But these motherfuckers are all hopped up on Adderall and antidepressants. Ouch. Stop that noise. Ow. My brain. Now this went on for like 2 hours, right? Hey, what's up, KP Heathen? Now we can hear the Jewish protesters or counter-protesters or whatever you want to call them. Some of you want to call them Zionists, I guess. Yeah, we can hear the Zionists out here chanting USA, right? And they're all and this went on all into last night. In fact, I woke up just a little while ago and they were still arresting people. I guess more violence broke out last night. I don't know exactly what happened because I just woke up to all this, guys. But yeah, we'll just have a look at what happened here last night. So here we are. This is last night, or early this morning. This is 3 hours ago. Right? Well, 5 hours ago, or whatever.
No.
Talking to you. About to go in. Hold on, she's coming.
And this is how it went down.
Trying to connect. I'm on.
Now remember, these people want to end occupation by occupying public spaces, right? And, you know, that's their calling card, right? Now you understand what they're dealing with in Israel.
Free Palestine!
You let these people in, you take care of them, right? You offer them their own country, and they demand you leave yours. They claim that all of it's theirs. Right? They're out here screaming, stop doing genocide, when they're literally the ones calling for a genocide, right? They just don't want a genocide against them.
Fireworks, fireworks. They're throwing fireworks. Careful, they're throwing. Well, this has just begun now. You can see this California Highway Patrol. They are tearing apart the barricades that yesterday protesters spent. They are taking this down. We just saw one woman being taken off in handcuffs. We just also saw a protester hit a police officer with an umbrella. No damage. They are wearing helmets.
Now
They're
we know
also
the umbrellas,
shining
that's
flashlights in the police officers'
that is
eyes,
a
along
play
with
from the Rules
strobe
for
lights
Radicals
trying to blind
playbook.
them. That has not worked. You can see right now quite a chaotic scene. This has been in preparation all night long. You have the California Highway Patrol. You have LA County Sheriff deputies, the LAPD here. But it is the campus police and the California Highway Patrol that are now taking the lead on this. There are about 200 to 400 protesters on the perimeter, and we understand they're actually surrounding the entire perimeter here. They are here to support the people inside the pro-Palestine encampment.
Why do you
we
think
have
that
not seen
Egypt doesn't
anyone
want
on the
any of
pro-Israel
that?
side
No shit.
all night long,
Because
and
this
we've
is
been
what
here
will
since
happen in
just
Egypt,
after midnight.
right?
You can see they are tearing down
We're lucky.
wooden pallets,
We've only
wooden
had,
boards,
like,
tables,
2
doors,
of these
anything and
people,
everything that protesters use to barricade
murder
themselves
themselves
in this encampment
in
since last
in
week.
protest,
and yesterday
right?
they
We
were
had,
quite busy using drills, hammers,
one
and
guy
nails,
set himself on fire in the
hammering all these
beginning,
wooden
and just
boards
recently
together
another
in
guy
hopes
set
that
himself
would
on
protect
fire.
them. But you can see California Highway Patrol officers
So far, they've only killed
tearing
themselves.
down those boards
But
to be
as this
able to get to
escalates
them.
and
Now,
boils
we can tell
over,
you that all night
you
long,
better
they
believe
have been using a
that we're going to
loudspeaker
see
right
somebody
next to the
in a crowded
protesters,
area with a
telling them
suicide
to
vest,
disperse,
right?
telling them this encampment
Like,
is
this is
unlawful,
gonna happen,
something that the
right?
campus told
Because
them
we're
on
now
Wednesday,
going
that
to
the
let these people
encampment
into
was
the country.
unlawful, that they could
that
not
is one
stay
of the
here
news
any
stories I'm
longer.
following.
They have used
I'll have
loudspeakers
more on that
all
for you
night
later
long,
today.
giving protesters ample time to leave if they wanted to. They told them you can leave peacefully now or risk being arrested if you stay. This has been going on all night long.
Now, these
We did
arrests
not
happened
see
all over the
anyone
country
leave
yesterday.
The encampment.
They happened
But
at
now, as
University of
police
Texas
move
in Dallas.
They are going to be
They happened
leaving,
at
but in
the University
handcuffs.
of
And you
North
can see
Carolina.
photographer Tony Bucci
They happened
behind
at
the camera as the California Highway Patrol
Columbia
continues
University
to
and
tear
another
down the
university
barricade. They have
at,
flashlights
in New
being
York.
flashed in their eyes, strobe lights, and a
So
lot
there
of the
is, like,
protesters
just
we
like
are
these
watching
protests
have helmets
sprung
on.
up
They
all at
also
once,
have umbrellas
right?
to shield themselves.
They're all being quashed
Alex,
all at once.
that is what you are
Nationwide.
looking at right
So
now
there-
happening near Royce Hall.
There are bigger
Gigi,
hands
Bobby
at
Castro
play
here as
right
well,
now.
along with Alex.
Right?
You
These are
have
not
to imagine that
organic,
this is going
nor
to take
is
some time to
nor
dismantle
is the,
this.
dissent,
Because of, as you said, they spent the
the
day yesterday
dismantling
nailing
of
some of
them
these boards
organic,
together.
right?
They were using
These
zip
are all
ties
coordinated
to tie
on a
some of
national
those,
level.
those rails together. Gigi, we've got Gina Silva also on the ground there. She
And
has
we
another
expect
vantage
more
point of
clashes
what's
and
going
violence
on as
today,
police move in.
right?
Gina, what do you see?
Well, Bobby, just take a look at the scene. It is so chaotic.
At least in
this
my
has
opinion,
been going
as I
on
have
now
seen
for
these things
hours.
happen
We've been
over time.
waiting and waiting for CHP. They gave plenty of warnings to
This
the
is
students
not going
to
to
leave.
stop them.
They
This
kept
is only going to make
announcing
things
over
worse,
and over
right?
Since 6 p.m., letting them know that if they did not leave, they would be arrested. And that is what is about to happen right now. CHP
this is only
officers
going
here
to
in full
light
riot
a
gear
fire
are tearing down
under
the
the,
barricades. And you can see this
the
is a
activists
standoff.
at
You
the top
hear
of this
all
movement,
that
right?
loud
The
bang
people that are professional
noise right
agitators,
there,
right?
And it just
This
sounds
is only
like
going to give
a
them
war zone here.
more
None of
ammunition,
this is going to
right,
be pretty.
to pass
They're
around
going to be pulling
on
out
their
these
Antifa
students,
fucking
and again, they had
message
plenty
boards
of warnings.
and
They
shit.
were told they
What-
needed
I don't
to
know how
leave,
they do
or they
things,
could
but
be
however they do
arrested.
things.
And that is what's going
Right.
to happen to
We're just
right
gonna
now.
see
You
more
can see a lot of CHP
outsiders
officers.
coming in
They are
to
the ones that
influence
are
these
leading
kids.
the arrest tonight. LAPD officers are also here behind, but it will be CHP who will be making the arrest because it is UCLA. Now, Gigi is also here. You can see her throwing flash grenades. Flashbang grenades to try to get the students to surrender, but again, that isn't
shooting,
happening.
tear gas
As
rounds.
Gigi mentioned, they
The
have
CHP are
umbrellas.
firing that? Is that
Those
coming
are
out of the
beanbags,
CHP? It
my
looks
bad.
like
That
it.
is. There are so many officers here.
Wow.
We've got CHP at the front. We've got LAPD from the back. I saw CHP officers with the big rubber bullets.
Yeah.
So
big
they
rubber bullets are
prepared
beanbags,
to
honey.
end this today, and that is what is happening this morning. Again, this is something that. Oh my goodness, this is something that. The warnings came out at 6 p.m. and said this is an unlawful assembly. You have to disperse. And throughout the night, we've been
These
here
people
by
will be back
the
today.
encampment. We kept hearing this speaker over and over, letting the
This
students
is not
know
going to
you
dissuade
have
them
to leave. You have to leave.
from continuing their intifada.
If you don't leave, you will be arrested. And
Right.
this is
If
exactly
actual
what is happening
IDF
now. You can see it's
with
a very
guns and
chaotic
grenades
situation.
won't stop them.
The
Do you
students
think
are
this is gonna
standing
stop
around.
them?
You can see they're wearing helmets, and they are not backing away. Right now, somebody threw a water bottle. Earlier, our security saw students. They were putting cement in the water bottles, adding a little bit of
putting
water.
cement in the
and
water bottles?
the
That's
idea was
fucking
that
great.
that would be a projectile to send out, and obviously that would hurt because it would be a cement in that bottle.
And this is such a different scene than what we saw at USC last week when LAPD moved in. That was only a one-day encampment, and most of the people there just turned themselves in, were, sort of participated in the arrest process. It seems like, Gina, these folks are digging themselves in. Are you seeing some folks that are just saying, yes, arrest me, I want to be arrested, to make a statement? It looked like we maybe saw...
It's not here.
We're just gonna skip a little bit.
It's a little hard to see. The
Now we're having,
protester is wearing a helmet.
notice that
and
these
they
are
trying
mostly
to put those
young
zip
girls.
ties on them to detain them. The protester, unclear woman, man, but they are wearing
Right.
a helmet, as are many of the protesters inside the encampment, obviously prepared for something like
As
this.
we all know, women are
You
ruled
see,
by their
it is a
emotions,
female now.
easily
You see, it is a
persuaded
woman
by
who is
emotional
down.
arguments.
They've taken off, I believe, her helmet now,
don't
and they're
care how
trying to
much
zip
it
tie her and
contradicts.
detain her. She is
They don't
not
care how much
fighting
their
back. She's
actions
not
and
struggling
words
with them at all. She is
contradict
allowing herself to be detained, and now they're
the
going to pick her
sentiment
up and
of the
get her
movement.
out of here. They do have medics. We did see medics
Because women
escorting some of the people
don't
out.
operate
and
the
that's
same way
on
we
this
do.
side. And there goes the protester right now.
Well, and what we saw earlier tonight when
Yep,
we were on in
women.
our 6 o'clock news,
Young
even,
girls,
is
young
there
rich
was a
girls.
long lineup of buses from the sheriff's department that were lining up near the
So
federal
fathers
building
out there,
on Wilshire, which
is what
were
happens
basically in place to
when
do
you don't
mass
give your
arrests,
girls enough
with
attention.
the idea of detaining these folks, arresting
They join
them,
the fucking
putting them on these
jihadist
buses and
intifada.
getting them out of there. So they are prepared to put a lot of people
fathers,
into
take
that
better
sort of
care of your daughters.
transportation to get them out of this system. That may be
Or you'll have
part
them
of
in
what is
Haji
happening
hats.
right now. To your point also about that dispersal call, we
Oh,
were
don't
also
cry.
live on the air at 6
Oh,
a.m.
she's
6
gonna
p.m.
cry. Oh, she's crying.
And at that
Oh.
moment when they said it is time to disperse, there was not
God,
a
they're
single
ugly
person
too,
that
boy.
left. We have not
Not
seen
a looker
hardly
in the
anybody
bunch.
leave throughout the entire night. And so now we are seeing on the campus of one of the great universities in the country, the most
Another ugly
applied
girl
to
being
school
dragged
in
away.
the country, one of the most respected institutions around the world. A scene that looks
That's
like
a man,
war zone
baby.
and a combat
Or
essentially
ugly
going
girls.
on
Oh,
between
there's a guy.
the police
So we've
forces
seen
of the
one
United
guy out
of
of
the
5
state of
people.
California, the CHP,
So they're about 80%
and
girls.
pro-Palestinian protesters, some
Now,
of them
I don't blame the
students,
guys
some
for
of
being
them
there,
not students. On campus.
All these ugly girls with daddy issues,
this
I'm
is
sure.
ugly, Bob.
I'm sure there's lots of.
Gina, that they have been able to dismantle at least part of that barricade, so that they're
Sure,
able
there's
to
lots
get
of
to
young
some of
girls
those
making bad
protesters inside. We're seeing continued arrest there.
Yeah,
so
they got daddy issues.
Arresting some of those protesters one by one.
If they're dumb enough to come out here,
Yes, they are going in, and again,
they're dumb enough to fuck that ugly dude. I'll tell you that.
I'm here with Sam Dubin, and you can see they've got a long way to go to tear down the entire barricade. But what they have been doing is tossing the trash can, some of those cans, and you can see above there one of the protesters. They do have masks. And there's
You
a
can
struggle
tell these
going
are
on
rich
over here
kids
now.
too, because
But
they have no
again,
idea how to erect a barricade.
Wow.
Right.
Oh my goodness.
Gina,
This is so dangerous. But again,
They
they're
probably
shooting
should have
rubber
had some
bullets,
fasteners
but
on those
I can tell
boards.
you from doing stories about rubber bullets, they had time to leave, avoid this type of situation, and as far as we know, almost everyone stayed.
One of the concerns, Gina, is those other
Ugly
protesters
girls are
that
better
outside
than
this
goats for
encampment that have
jihadis.
come in.
Yeah, that's true.
Many of them, as Alex was saying, have not left, but others have moved in, and we had heard that.
Imagine being promised 42 virgins, and it's these ugly UCLA jihad fucking bitches. It's like the monkey paw, right? Right? You'll get your wish, but it's not what you expected.
Some of the law enforcement there could also be surrounded, so no doubt there are law enforcement on the other side, or people who are watching people who are on the outside of this encampment.
That's correct. That was the biggest concern, because the crowd, we were talking about possibly more than 1,000 people that were standing outside, and they were ready to rush in. They were very prepared for that. They talked about it, but
More
of
ugly
course
girls
it
being
took
arrested.
so many hours that by the time this happened, many of the people that were
ugly
outside,
girls.
the supporters of the pro-Palestinian protesters, they ended up leaving. There are still some people out there, but so far I'm looking behind me, and no one has come into this area. There are LAPD officers on that side as well. They could be holding the line, but right now all of the action that's taking place, you're watching it right now. That is CHP.
Monkey's paw, is that like camel toe? No, it's an old story about a monkey's paw that grants you wishes, right? But every time you get a wish, it turns out to be more than you bargained for, right? Like in this instance, the jihadis get 42 virgins, but they're all ugly pro-Hamas jihadi UCLA students, right? Like, oh, God, no, that's not what I signed up for. They're all big, fat, blue-haired lesbians.
And to get them in handcuffs and out of this area.
Gina, you've been doing this for decades in the field. Can you remember something the size of this in Southern California that you've ever witnessed?
Here we go. We're just going to skip through a little bit.
Fairly well, in the sense that it hasn't escalated into violence.
Typically trying to keep things peaceful on one end. What are some of the reasons why they'll say, hey, no, you
Not a looker in the bunch.
Well, certainly
not a looker.
Obstructing public access for other people, any violent actions, any disruption from students gaining access to their classes.
I don't think I've ever seen this many ugly girls all in one place.
To other individuals. So these are all of the factors that are taken into consideration.
All right, Jim, we appreciate you being part of our coverage this morning. Chief of Operations for the former Chief of Operations for the LASD, Jim Hellman. We will check in with you later. We appreciate that. We're going to go to Doug Lazader, our Fox News correspondent in Washington, to weigh in on some of this. We've been saying, Doug, that President Biden has been keeping an arm's length from these protests that have been springing up across the country. Now, the center of these protests shifted now from the East Coast, where that protest at Columbia had been dismantled, now here to the West Coast at UCLA. And many wondering whether or not the administration is going to weigh in more on it.
Encampment, did you see any more people, besides the initial woman that you saw, any more people choosing
to weigh in on
like,
some of this?
It's just all garbage. Like, look at how they trash everything, right? Right? And these people are all for environmentalism and all that. Look at the garbage, right? Oh, my bad. Nope. Oh, nope. Hold on. Oh. Right? Like, look at all the garbage, right? Like, these people just trash everything, right? They trash this country. They trash our values, right? They trash their own fucking intifada, right? Like, fuck these people.
We've been saying, Doug, that President Biden has been keeping an arm's length from these protests that have been springing up across the country. Now, the center of these protests shifted now from the East Coast, where that protest at Columbia had been dismantled.
We're
red. Now here to the West Coast at
Clean
UCLA.
up our trash.
And, many wondering whether or not the administration is going to weigh in more on this.
The president has really been trying to kind of straddle this issue.
He built better
saying
forts
on the one
when he
hand
was
that
10
does
years
not
old.
support violent protests. On the other hand, he says people need to understand the plight of the Palestinians. You know, in recent days, though, and those were comments that he made about a week and a half ago. A lot has happened since then. And in the meantime, we've only seen written statements come out of the White House, and we've seen comments from the press secretary and other administration officials. But the president himself has been largely...
Come on down to Allen's Snack Bar. We got worldwide enchiladas. Get your Haji hats.
silent about these protests. I wonder if these images that we are seeing this morning, that you're showing there from UCLA, if this will convince the White House that the president just cannot wait any longer to talk about this. Now,
Now, we saw the president come out. He gave a very brief statement about an half hour ago, something like that. 45 minutes ago, we saw him come out. He basically said nothing, right? He played the both sides thing, right? Right? But, unlike Trump's both sides thing, he didn't condemn, right? Trump condemned the white supremacists, right? While he said, yes, there are good people on both sides, Trump, by name, called out white supremacists as people who are not the good people on both sides, right? Joe Biden did no such thing. Joe Biden praised the jihadis too, right?
The administration yesterday pointed out that he does have an event on Tuesday next week here on Capitol Hill.
How many actual Palestinians are actually there?
He's going to speak.
I hope not many.
At that point, this situation is...
And we can tell there's not really any real Palestinians because no one's blown themselves up yet, right?
Was going to have to be addressed.
But that's going to change.
Anti-Semitism in the country.
Mark my words.
But it will be interesting
We're
to
going to
see if through the course of
a jihad
this
vest
day,
go off.
The White House feels compelled to kind of deploy the president to talk about this kind of...
Of the false narrative that they're creating in the media, right? Right? Saying Israel's doing a... Look, if Israel wanted to do a genocide, they could. They have all these people trapped like rats in this one little shithole, right? Right? Instead of bombing them into the ground, they're bringing them food, they're bringing them water, they're bringing them medical supplies. They're making calculated strikes against actual targets, right? If Israel wanted to do a genocide, they could, but they haven't. Hamas and the Palestinians and the Gazans do want to do a genocide, but they can't, right? If we gave them their way, they would kill all the Jews. Have no doubt about that, right? So, yeah. So there hasn't been a genocide, and if they wanted to do one, they could.
Campus unrest.
It's also interesting. We've seen Republicans vocal saying that, the president needs to speak on this. And you mentioned images. Yeah, there's, kind of two different directions that this can go. And I imagine they're both going to be impactful. The images of these mass protests on one hand, and then also what we are likely about to see, images of mass arrests of many college students, many protesters. That's got to have an impact.
That's right, especially because so many of these folks are young voters, and that will play maybe even a determining role in the November election. And
oh, did you hear that? Listen.
Gotta have an impact.
That's right, especially because so many of these folks are young voters. And
they're young voters, right? It's funny. It's funny how their bias is showing. Like they're not even hiding it.
That will play maybe even a determining role in the November election. And while we
Gorf,
concentrate on these big events,
right
Columbia
now.
on the East Coast,
How
UCLA on the West
sir.
Coast, this is happening around the...
Mr. Gorf, that is very poignant and accurate of a statement. He said Biden will not say anything about this because he is afraid of losing the vote. That's exactly what the news broadcasters just said.
Especially because so many of these folks are young voters, and that will play maybe even a determining role in the November election. And while we concentrate on these big events, Columbia on the East Coast, UCLA on the West Coast, this is happening around the country.
Around the country,
and it's
y'all.
happening in our backyard here in Washington as well. There have been big protests at George Washington University. They have been largely peaceful, but the university there actually asked police to come in and get the protesters out. The police refused to do it. So we are just seeing a huge, variety of responses from university officials and police departments across the country on this issue.
Doug, it's interesting that you bring it up because, yes, we're focused on these two big cities, but also, Brown University. The university leaders there have somewhat caved to protesters, a much quieter protest. And they're saying, they're going to hold a vote on divestment. They're going to have conversations about that.
As far
Freddie
as we know,
Sodium,
that's an
the
interesting
smell
point
has
to bring
reached
up.
Boston.
Brown, as far as
What
we
a
know,
mess.
is the first university
Climate
to
change
make
for
that
thee,
kind of
not for
concessions
me.
and consider divestment. And that's something that these protests have been kind of uniform across the board, demanding from schools. Brown went pretty far in making that concession.
All right, so that's pretty much how this went down, and that is what happened. Now we kind of have a little timeline here. Yeah, so apparently in Portland, they occupied a library. Half of the people arrested in New York City are not affiliated with the university, right? That means half these people are probably Antifa from the West Coast. I don't know that for sure. Right? Hundreds face charges across the nation, but will charges stick? Absolutely not. None of these kids are going to get in trouble. And I don't think that, honestly, only the ones that barricaded themselves into public spaces and blocked students from going to class should be arrested and should be charged. All the rest should be let go, with minimal charges, misdemeanors, pretrial diversion, whatever, whatever. I don't think that they should have, some of them should. The ones that let it, the ones that barricaded themselves into buildings, the ones that assaulted peacekeepers, right? They should be charged, right? But the majority of them, I think, should just be let go. That's what happens at every protest. No, wait, that's not what happens. Oh, wait, I forgot. No. They should put them in jail for 6 months at least for trespassing like they did to the grandmas on January 6th, right? Yeah, no, fuck that. No, I'm not gonna let my better judgment take over. No, they should be treated the exact same way the January 6th protesters were. Oh, really? Let's have a look at this. Thank you, Gorf. So here we go. This is some video of what happened in Portland. So here they are in Portland. They've taken over a building. I believe this is the library that we were just reading about. Portland State University. Yeah, this is the library. Long live the Intifada. Did you see that? Millions in damages? I believe that. Again, mostly dumb rich girls who are ugly. There's the People's Pantry. From the oh God, look at all the vandalism. Yeah. Yeah. Oh wow. Wow. Disgusting. Yeah, so I think we're all caught up. Oh, wait, no, we got a press gaggle. You guys want to watch the gaggle? It may be a while before she comes out. Bananas for Israel. I don't get it. Yeah, of course the protesters are getting paid. Of course they're getting paid, right? How else do you think that these people can travel around the country? Showing up at all universities all at the same time and doing the exact same thing everywhere they go. Of course this is an organized movement. I would say that's very likely, Gorf. I would say you are probably correct. Hey, Gorf, why don't you give us a video to watch while we're waiting for the press secretary to come out? Why don't you send us a link to one of your heavy death metal songs? I think everybody would enjoy that. Yeah, so let's see here. We go see. They banned... oh, that's right. They banned bananas because one of the Antifas was allergic... and peanuts or walnuts or something like that. Education system isn't fit for purpose. Just a bunch of insurance scammers and beggars. Yeah, well... guys, I've said it before and I've said it again. I'll say it again. In the end, everything resolves to insurance fraud. Okay? In the end, everything is an insurance scam. Yeah. Everything always resolves to an insurance scam in the end. Oh, I'm sorry, Gorf. Yeah, I've not been feeling well either. I'm sorry to hear that, brother. Is it a short-term thing, brother, or is it an ongoing illness? I hope you get better. I hope you feel better, brother. See, I can always predict when I'm going to be feeling bad. It happens when the weather shifts drastically. Like in the last 5 days, we've gone from, 32 degrees to, right now it's 82, right? So we've had a 50-degree shift over the last few days, and that always fills my head full of garbage, as you may be able to hear right now. As a matter of fact. Yeah. So I don't know if we're gonna stick around for this gaggle, but I have the president is coming out at 4:30 p.m. So set your clocks for that, because I will be back at 4:30. Holy shit. Wow, bro, that's not good. What is it? Is it an early stage, like 1 or 2? I hope that you're in stage 1 or 2, bro. Stage 1 is 90%. Stage 2 is less. But once it gets into higher stages, the chances of surviving are drastically reduced. I wish you all the best of luck, brother. That sounds terrifying. That's terrifying. That's crazy. 2 or 3? Yeah, that's it's just concerning, brother. Everyone pray for Gorf. I don't pray, brother, but if I did, I would. But I will encourage everybody else to do so. I will send you positive love, right? I will try to put good energy out for you, brother. I'll think about you. Everyone send love Gorf's way. So, yes. The president will be coming out at 4:30 p.m., where he's going to give remarks about Charlottesville, I think. Oh, no, they're in Charlotte, North Carolina. Never mind. So Charlotte, he's going to be talking about the economy, it says. So we will be back for that, guys. Yeah. We'll wait around a few more minutes for the press secretary. If she comes out, we'll stick through the gaggle. But I don't think she's going to be coming out anytime soon. We just saw the president less than an hour ago, so I don't see... I don't think it's possible that Biden will be coming out, or that the press secretary will be coming out, because Biden, I just don't see him getting on a plane and all those things within an hour. Oh, my phone's going nuts. Yeah, I don't see him coming out soon. Or her coming out soon. It's just too close to when Biden spoke. And I feel like that speech was just crammed into a schedule at the last minute. So everything is like off kilter, right? But we will wait a few more minutes just to see if she comes out. But I doubt it. We might be here forever. That's what I'm saying. That's why I do have stuff, but I'm saving it for this afternoon. I have actually a lot to talk about because there's a lot going on right now that this is all these protests have been a distraction against, right? And I want to make sure that we cover the real news stories that are actually happening. But we'll do that. We will do that later when the president comes out. Okay? I think we're just going to end it here. Yeah, we're just going to end it, guys. So, I will be back at 4:30 to heckle the president. And, we may go on from there depending on what these fucking jihadi intifadas are doing. We may keep streaming after the president comes out. I don't know. I expect things to escalate with these campus protests and everything. I don't expect them to simmer down, right? We have more barricaded buildings. I mean, there's just a lot to go over. And I don't expect that it's going to calm down. It's going to get worse before it gets better, I think. I think that's obvious. That's a reasonable conclusion. All right? All right, guys. Well, I will see you later. And remember, we go live with all kinds of content whenever I want. And you don't know when that will be. That's why the best way to stay informed is to subscribe and click the little bell. Make sure you guys are still subscribed to the channel because they will unsubscribe you. And I will see you in a few hours. All right, later, guys. Thank you. Bye.